looking at each of the regionals as they come down, starting with the Midwest, that's where they put the #1 overall seed, Kansas. And it is Kansas's regional to lose because they play the first 2 rounds in Oklahoma City, then they move to St. Louis, and playing in St. Louis is playing a home game for Kansas. So, but there are some other teams in that region that have to bear watching that are some of the hottest teams in the country. Ohio State is their 2 seed. They're coming off having won the Big Ten title in convincing fashion. Georgetown is their 3, made a run to the Big East championship game before losing to West Virginia. Maryland came on, tied Duke for the ACC regular season title. So they're there. So there are teams that can give Kansas a hard time, but when you have such a veteran team, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. And some of the teams that can pull upsets there, San Diego State is the 11th seed coming out of the Mountain West. They get Tennessee in the first round. Tennessee's a team that even in big games just hasn't come up the way you look for them, so San Diego State might be able to take that one and run with it. Look for Kansas to probably play Georgetown in the championship game because Georgetown is just on such a roll right now, and with Greg Monroe they have a great deal going in the middle, so wouldn't be surprised to see Kansas-Georgetown in the final of that one. In the West Regional, that's where Syracuse got moved out because they can't play in the East Regional because they're hosting it in the Carrier Dome. So the rules say you can't play any NCAA sites on your home court. So Syracuse got moved out west. But their first 2 games are going to be in Buffalo. So that's just western New York, not the western part of the country. And the first game is just intriguing because of the names. It's Syracuse, Vermont. And in 2005, Vermont had that shocking second-round upset of Syracuse, but there's no T.J. Sorrentine and Taylor Coppenrath around this time like there was for Vermont, so Syracuse should be able to get by that and not have a problem. They get Gonzaga in the second round probably, a well-traveled team who's going to be coming across the country to play that game, but Syracuse is playing so well, even with the injury to Ronzi Anawaku, their center in the middle of the zone. I think if they let him take the first weekend off, they still have enough to get through to the regional semifinals. A couple of upsets in that round. UTEP is going against Butler. The 12-5, for some reason, every year there's at least 1 or 2 12-5s. This is one of those Butlers that just hasn't played any quality competition since the Horizon League season started. They had the one good bracket buster win over Siena, but really nothing else to impress anyone. I think UTEP's going to come in and be ready to go for them. Murray State is a 13 seed. They're going up against Vanderbilt, the number 4 seed. Vanderbilt's had some real tough losses toward the end of the season, the kind of losses that don't just add an L to your record, but they take something out of you. And I could see them getting ambushed in the first round by Murray State. Pitt is there on that side as well, and Pitt is a team, they're not going to score. You could lock them in a gym for an hour, they probably couldn't get 100 points, but they're going to stop you. So they're the kind of team that if they get to 60, you're in big trouble because they probably done stopped you. And I look for Pitt to hook up with Syracuse in the regional final, be an all Big East matchup just like last year. Pitt lost to Villanova in the regional final, was held out from going to Final Four, and look for the same thing to happen again, that the number 1 seed Syracuse will probably come through that region.